All right, Graham. Yeah, Josh here. And on the left-hand side, when you log into your account, you're going to have a toolbar. This is ultimately all the different coaching tools that you'll have access to through Train Heroic. Okay, and so the first thing you'll see are athletes, which is just a list of every client at the gym, right? Every athlete that is training with you. Now, every athlete has their own personal training calendar. So if you wanted to, you could click on their calendar and train them one-on-one. Right? But just in the general flow of the gym, I'd imagine most of what you're doing is kind of group training, right? You show up, you're doing the WOD, you're doing whatever's programmed for that day. And so there's a very efficient way to do that, and that is you're going to actually have people join a team, and then you're going to manage one team calendar. So here's just an example. If I click on teams, we've got an account here, a coach that runs a gym called CrossFit Lodo in Denver. Okay, and so what this coach is able to do is they actually create a team. So in the top right, you're creating a team, right? And that's, in this case, CrossFit Lodo. And importantly, each team has a code. Now that code allows athletes and clients to simply download the app and type in a code. The code places them on the team when they create their account. And so what that means for them is they have access to the team's calendar. And your job as a coach is just to update that calendar. So if I click on the actual team, I'm going to see the training calendar for the team. Now, programming is as easy as actually clicking into a date and clicking create session, and you can design a session. Now, you can really plan and get ahead of this by creating sessions and entire programs in your library. So rather than on a daily basis creating a session or even editing a session, you can actually prep all those things in your library. So if you click on the library here on the left-hand side, you'll notice that this coach has done a good job of actually just designing some training plans. Okay, so they've got like a 3-week intro, a 4-week strength phase, an advanced strength phase. So what this allows them to do is when they're actually within their team, they can just say, hey, let me pull that 4-week strength phase, and the next 4 weeks are on their calendar. So let me demonstrate that. I'm going to go to Teams, right? I'm going to click on CrossFit Lodo. Now, when you're on the calendar, there's a little shortcut here in the top right to add something from your library. You go to Programs, and what you're able to do is click, hey, 4-week strength phase. You decide the start date. In this case, hey, let's start it, on the 20th. I'll hit OK, and I'm going to add it to the calendar, right? And so what that does is starting on the 20th, it adds the actual program. Now from here, I can do whatever I want. I can edit and I can adjust, but we now have a 4-week strength block on the calendar. I prepped this thing, last year. We're repeating things like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight these training sessions, and I'm just going to click delete to clear the calendar. And let's create a session just for today on the 23rd. And I want to walk through how easy that is. So you've got kind of this blank template, okay, a blank sheet of paper, and right in the middle of the page, you'll hit add block, and you'll add a movement. So maybe today for our strength, we're doing push press, and I'll search for push press, and as I search, we've got 1,500 movements. You can always add your own exercise, right? And that comes with a YouTube clip and things like that you can attach to it, but we've got quite a bit in there. So if I clicked on push press, on the right-hand side, I'm going to select my prescription. That's my rep scheme. We allow you even to save certain rep schemes, so that's what you're seeing here. But I'm going to create a custom rep scheme, and I'll decide that I want 3 sets. I want 3 sets of 5. Okay, for the weight, maybe I leave it blank, but perhaps I actually want to use this drop-down menu and prescribe a percentage. I want them to hit 60, 65, and 70% of their 1 rep max. Right? I'm going to say build to a heavy 5. Maybe like weights are suggestion. So you can throw in some notes, and maybe it's like rest 2 minutes between sets. Maybe I also want them to hit pull-ups. So I'm going to go pull-ups. We're going to do some strict pull-ups. Again, select a rep scheme, custom rep scheme. Perhaps I want 3 sets, and I just want max reps. So I'm going to just type in max. I like this example too, Graham, because you don't need to use both columns, right? This is a body weight movement. I'm not going to go reps and weight. I can if I want, if I was doing weighted pull-ups. And then instead of A and B being 2 separate blocks, you'll see a summary here on the left. I can actually pair these together, so I have A1, A2. I've got a superset, right? Now, I'm going to add another block, and generally, if I'm talking or working with a CrossFit gym, we've got some strength, and then we've got the Metcon. So let's go and add a block, and let's say we want to do Fran. Now, rather than just standalone exercises like you see here where the athlete's actually tracking everything they're doing, you can actually create a circuit. Okay, now circuit is like text-based programming. It's designed for things like Metcons. Warm-ups and cool-downs are awesome ways to use circuits as well. But here we've got conditioning. I could always adjust the circuit type, right, if this was some prep work or recovery. But let's just say this is Fran. So rather than calling it circuit, I'm going to call it Fran. And I'm just going to type with text 21:59 for time of thrusters and I'm going to say 95, 65 pull-ups, right? And then maybe there's like a scaling option. Scale with ring rows if needed, right? And so what happens here is on the right-hand side, you'll see the result. Right now, it's just for completion, which means the athlete will click a check mark. Instead, here, I actually want to do this for time. Now, additionally, this just looks like text to our system, but I can actually add video. So you'll notice like the push press comes with a video. The pull-ups comes with a video because we're pulling it from our library. But for something like Fran, where it's just a circuit and I'm just using text, I have to explicitly say, hey, let's add some video here. Let's add thrusters, right? So now the thruster video is there. Let's also add pull-ups, right? And the more specific I am on the video, maybe I want actually kipping pull-ups here, right? But I can add as many videos. So imagine if this is a warm-up with 10 movements. I'm listing them, and then I'm listing the videos just in case they want to see those. Okay, so here we go. We've designed this training session, right? Now, as soon as I hit publish, that thing is live and it's on everybody's phone. So let's go ahead and take a look at what that looks like. I'm going to hit publish. I'm actually going to go back here in the top, and this thing's on the calendar. If I click in the top right, I can come back and edit it. Let me even unpublish it. You'll notice when something's unpublished, you'll have the option up top to kind of batch publish things. So what that could mean is that let me highlight and hit Control-C to copy. But let's say you designed it. I'm just going to paste a week and then copy and paste another week, right? Let's say we've got 2 weeks of sessions. As soon as I hit publish all those things are published. That's a quick and efficient way to do that. I'll clean up the calendar a bit here. But here's what happens. As soon as this session is published, I'm going to pull out my phone to actually show you what this looks like for the members. But this thing is visible for our members. All right, Graham, so check this out, right? So I just kind of did a little screen grab. This is me holding my phone in my hand. I click on the app, okay? And so from here, I'm going to click Start Session. We're going to give you a readiness survey. So I'm moving through just 5 basic questions. We made this with the Air Force Research Lab, but that's going to give me, the athlete, and the coach a readiness score. And then I'm going to move right into the session. So you'll see kind of a summary up top. But I've got, because this is programmed at a percentage, I've got the actual load that's based on my specific max, right? So I can just punch in these numbers. I can adjust them if it's adjusting the reps, if it's adjusting the load. In the case that I did more, I could actually add a set. Right? And so, hey, I didn't just do 3x5, I did another set. And that's calculating my total volume up top, right? We're going to show past performances, what I did last time. And then importantly, if it's something like a superset here in block A, we're able to go ahead and add in the second movement and specifically what we did. It's not weight-based, right? So it's just showing us kind of body weight. Now, in the case that I can't do push press, I can actually click here to swap the exercise. And now I'm swapping a push press for something like whatever I search for. In this case, it was, okay, let's search for like handstand push-ups. All right, let's swap it. So it allows the athlete to scale if they need to. In this case, handstand push-ups instead of push press. And now I'm just logging the push press, or I'm sorry, the handstand push-ups. Right? And I can swap that at any point. Now I'm going to move to the next section where we have Fran. You'll notice kind of how Fran is programmed. If I click on one of the videos, I can see the videos just like any other movement. But importantly, it's just text. So I just click for time, and I actually log my result. In this case, 4 minutes, 4 seconds. I'm going to then scan to the next section of the training. I'll tell you how hard it was. And again, this is so the coach has that feedback, and you'll have it on an aggregate level, and you'll see comments, right? I can hit finish session. We'll show them a summary of what happened. And then importantly, they have access to their calendar, so I can jump to the next day if I needed to. So I hope that helps to just kind of articulate what the heck this actually looks and feels like for the athlete. And anyways, if you have any questions on this stuff, you let me know, Graham.